Have you ever seen a station wagon that made you stop in your tracks? Not because it's as luxurious as a Rolls-Royce or as rare as a vintage Bugatti, but because it's just too bizarre, too powerful, and completely out of place with what you imagine a three-row family hauler should be. The car we're talking about today is one of the most unique wagons Ford ever built. The 1971 Ford Galaxy 500 Country Sedan 429 Police Interceptor wagon. That's right, it's a civilian wagon powered by a 429 Police Interceptor engine, originally built to chase down lawbreakers at high speeds. And this car isn't just powerful, it's insanely rare. Only 8 units were built with this exact configuration across the entire United States. But why would Ford let an ordinary buyer order such a beast? And what makes it so special? Let's find out. When people talk about Ford wagons from the 1970s, most immediately think of the Country Squire, the top-tier model with signature faux wood paneling. But few realize that Ford also offered a more understated and practical wagon called the Country Sedan. Essentially, the Country Sedan was the wagon version of the Galaxy 500, sitting below the Country Squire, which was based on the LTD. To put it simply, if the LTD was the upscale version of the Galaxy 500, then the Country Squire was the upscale version of the Country Sedan. Even though it ranked lower, the Country Sedan shared the same platform, dimensions, and engine options. The differences were mainly in trim, interior materials, and exterior chrome detailing. Because it was not the most luxurious option, the Country Sedan was often purchased for more practical uses such as large family transport, fleet service, or as a base for special builds like police wagons. The fact that the car in this video was ordered with a 429 Police Interceptor engine and a Country Sedan body is highly unusual. But it is the Marty report that reveals just how truly special this wagon is. The Marty report is an official document pulled from Ford's production archives, detailing the exact factory specifications of each vehicle. According to the report, this is a 1971 Galaxy 500 Country Sedan wagon, equipped with a U-code 429 cubic inch 4-Venturi Police Interceptor engine, paired with a heavy-duty C6 automatic transmission. Only 8 cars were produced with this exact engine and transmission configuration in 1971. That means across the entire United States, only 8 owners ever got to drive a wagon that was essentially a disguised police pursuit vehicle right from the factory. On top of that, this car is one of just 48 ever built with the special police package option. But what really stands out is how it was sold. It was not part of a fleet or government order. It was a retail order placed through a dealership in Texas. That means someone, perhaps an individual or a business, deliberately chose this wagon not for law enforcement duties, but for personal reasons. And maybe it was that bold and unusual choice that created one of the most distinctive vehicles Ford ever built. When you look directly at the Country Sedan, you will immediately notice something unusual about its front end. The nose is long, protruding, and almost looks like it is lunging forward. That is not a coincidence. It is a design known by the nickname Bunky beak, a distinctive feature of early 1970s Ford styling. The origin of this name comes from Bunky Knudsen, who was Ford's president at the time. Before joining Ford, he had served as an executive at Pontiac, a division of General Motors. When he took over at Ford, he wanted the vehicles to look more powerful and muscular, similar to the Pontiacs he had previously overseen. As a result, many Ford models from 1970 and 1971, including the LTD, Thunderbird, and wagons like the Country Sedan, featured a noticeably forward-thrusting grille. It resembled the beak of a predatory bird. This design was both visually striking and gave Ford a unique brand identity during that short period. However, after Bunky was removed from Ford in early 1972, this design language was quickly abandoned. By 1973, new models began to adopt more rounded front ends to comply with the 5-mile-per-hour crash standards, and the Bunky beak completely disappeared after 1975. At first glance, the Country Sedan looks long and imposing, but in reality, it rides on a shorter wheelbase than many two-door coupes of the same era. This may surprise some, since wagons are often assumed to be extremely long vehicles. Ford built its wagons on a 121-inch wheelbase, the same as the sedan versions with B-pillars. Even higher-end Mercury wagons like the Colony Park used the 121-inch frame. In contrast, Mercury sedans used a 124-inch wheelbase, and Lincolns stretched to 127 inches. Meanwhile, manufacturers like General Motors and Chrysler did the opposite. Whether you bought a Chevrolet or a Buick wagon, the wheelbase usually matched or exceeded that of the corresponding sedans. As a result, Ford wagons appeared large, but were actually smaller in terms of platform dimensions. One interesting example is the 1971 Mercury Colony Park wagon, which had an overall length about 2 inches shorter than the Mercury Marquis Coupe from the same year. This affected both interior space and long-distance stability. And if you take a closer look at the body, you will notice that Ford incorporated several design elements to compensate for the shorter chassis platform. First is the use of framed doors. Unlike the frameless glass seen on many coupes, Ford wagons always featured framed door designs to increase structural rigidity and reduce body flex when carrying passengers and cargo. Then there is the noticeably extended rear overhang. This makes the car appear longer than it truly is and also increases cargo space. Visually, it helps balance the profile of the wagon. But the most interesting feature lies in the two distinct crease lines running along the side. One begins at the front wheel arch and ends midway through the front door. The second starts at the rear door and continues all the way to the back quarter panel. It is likely that Ford intentionally broke up the crease lines to avoid a monotonous look. A single continuous line might have made the body appear too flat or overly stretched. The lower portion of the side body also includes what is known as a drag section, a common technique used during clay modeling where a form is pulled along the side to create a clean, consistent shape. These subtle yet deliberate choices give the Country Sedan a unique architectural presence. It feels both practical and visually expressive, a balance that few wagons of the era managed to achieve as effectively. Step inside the Country Sedan and you will not find luxury or extravagance. Instead, the cabin is purely functional, designed with one goal in mind: to carry people, cargo, and cover miles comfortably. The front seat is a full-length bench with manual adjustments. The dashboard follows the LTD and Galaxy 500 design, featuring a horizontal speedometer. Air conditioning is one of the few comfort options present. The climate control panel is mounted toward the left side, paired with large vents, positioned directly in front of the driver and passenger. Below the panel are two switches. One controls the fan speed, and the other is labeled Accessory. On wagons, this switch operates the rear window. On convertibles, it was used to raise and lower the top. Another interesting detail is the absence of a radio. This was not a case of removal. The original owner simply chose not to order one. Perhaps the original owner installed a police communication unit, or simply did not need entertainment while driving. But upon closer inspection of the dashboard and instrument cluster, it becomes clear that this Country Sedan had more going on than just the absence of a radio. One of its most notable features is the speedometer marked Certified Calibration. This was a factory-calibrated unit provided by Ford specifically for police vehicles, ensuring far greater accuracy than standard civilian gauges. In the early 1970s, most consumer speedometers could easily be off by 2 to 5 miles per hour at highway speeds. For police work, such discrepancies were unacceptable. A properly calibrated speedometer was essential for enforcing traffic laws and writing citations. Beyond the gauge, the cabin includes a few other clever touches. For example, the accessory switch located just below the climate controls. In wagons, it operates the rear tailgate window. In convertibles, it controls the power top. Ford reused the same switch in different models to simplify manufacturing. Another surprising detail is found on the brake pedal. It lacks the disc brakes lettering that Ford usually stamped on cars equipped with front disc brakes. This suggests that the car came with front drum brakes, even though it was ordered with the police package configuration. Open the hood of this country sedan, and you will find a true law enforcement grade heart. A 429 cubic inch V8 Police Interceptor engine, equipped with a 4-venturi intake and tuned for high-speed, high-demand performance on premium fuel. While Ford never published exact figures for its Police Interceptor variants, the commonly accepted gross horsepower rating is around 370. When converted to modern net ratings, that would translate to roughly 280 to 290 horsepower. In 1971, this was exceptional output for a civilian-based station wagon. One standout engineering detail is the dual air intake system with a vacuum-controlled flap inside the air cleaner housing. Under heavy throttle, vacuum pressure drops, causing the flap to open and allow additional air directly into the intake manifold. This clever design allowed the engine to breathe better at high RPMs, offering quicker throttle response and maintaining strong torque at highway speeds. Additionally, the fact that this car retained its air conditioning system with a 2-piston compressor shows that Ford did not sacrifice basic comfort even when building for police duty. But if that seems surprising, what comes next is even more so. Instead of using the traditional Autolite 4300 carburetor, Ford installed a Rochester Quadrajet, a component famously used in General Motors vehicles. Why would Ford borrow a component from a direct competitor? The answer is performance. The Autolite 4300 carburetor was limited to about 600 cubic feet per minute. In contrast, the Quadrajet could flow 750 or even 800 cubic feet per minute, thanks to its spread bore design with large secondary barrels. This allowed the engine to draw in more air-fuel mixture at higher RPMs, resulting in better acceleration and improved high-end power. Another key advantage of the Quadrajet was how easily the secondary fuel mixture could be adjusted. With a single screw, users could swap out the secondary metering rods to enrich the mixture during full throttle, which was highly beneficial in high-speed pursuit situations. Although more complex to rebuild, the Quadrajet was widely regarded among vintage car enthusiasts as more reliable than the Autolite, especially under harsh driving conditions or extended use. Ford's decision to use the Quadrajet was not just a technical one. It was proof that they were willing to do whatever it took to make this wagon truly capable, even if it meant borrowing from their biggest rival. Beyond its powerful engine and rare police configuration, this country sedan features a collection of small quirks that car lovers will find genuinely intriguing. First is the driver's side mirror. In older photos, the car had a basic manually adjustable mirror from the outside. However, in the current interior view, it is fitted with an inside remote control mirror, suggesting a higher trim upgrade. It is unclear whether this was a dealer-installed option or a later owner's modification. Another curious point is that the car has no radio at all. This was not due to removal. It was actually ordered from the factory without a radio, which was quite rare at the time. Perhaps the buyer intended to install a police communication system or simply did not want entertainment while driving. Lastly, this wagon was once outfitted with police-style decals, sirens and paint, adding a mysterious layer to its past. It was sold on Bring a Trailer back in 2018, but where it resides today remains unknown. A wagon can be a family hauler, but the Country Sedan 429 Police Interceptor is something else entirely. It is a symbol of contradiction and boldness. A gentle-looking exterior hiding a highway pursuit-grade engine. A factory configuration so rare it was not built for law enforcement, but for something more personal and mysterious. This car reminds us that not all Fords were created equal, and that among thousands of mass-produced vehicles, there are always a few unique outliers, born not from corporate strategy, but from one person's pure passion. Have you ever seen a wagon this strange, or come across a car in real life that looked mild but had a powerful heart beating underneath? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoy stories about rare, forgotten, or oddball cars, be sure to subscribe so you never miss what comes next.